Hi, I'm Jason Davies, and I'm Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Bias, Berkeley Integrated Audio Software. And I've been asked to comment on what I think the future of music holds, and I'm actually very excited because what we have now are more and more tools to create more and more music, and with that means there's going to be more good music and more bad music. At the same time, I'm a little concerned, as a lot of artists are, that we've seen a devaluing of our currency. Music is currency, and it's gone down a little bit because of the piracy that's happened with unprotected music being freely distributed. There's a general sense out there, sometimes it seems, that the craft that we create just doesn't have value. It's not something like a bicycle. It's not something like a computer. It's something that sort of runs in the ether somewhere. And I think it coincides with what's happened with software as well. And I think there's a lot that IMSTA's done in terms of raising the awareness of the value of what software developers like us do. At the same time, we've seen a lot of the people that are using our tools have their own productions, the works that they've put in, the time that they put into their projects, not compensated for, and that's obviously concerning. At the same time, the technology evolution that I spoke about earlier has extended to distribution, so musicians have a much easier time of promoting themselves and not having to rely on traditional labels and those types of models that in essence end up giving back a small royalty to the artist. So that's the good news, is that I think with the way things have gone, with the growth of internet use, the acceptance of buying music online, and the multiple ways of getting more exposure, I think all of those things can combine to improve the chances for artists to recoup the investments in their craft. But it's going to be interesting. It'll be an interesting ride, and we'll see. I mean, the fact that we have more out there means you also need some better filters, because not every piece of music is something everyone's going to want to listen to. So the more that you've got out there to choose from, the more important it is to have ways where these music can be, for example, recommended by other peers or other artists or things like that, to push the things that are really good to a point where they get the exposure they deserve. I think there's some really neat developments in that front. There's some companies that have ways of distributing their music online where they can get comments from other users, they can rank the tunes, and then at the end of the day, customers can actually buy the product. But it's very important for us because obviously our key market are musicians and engineers and master people, and if they aren't making money doing what they do, then they can't buy our tools. So we obviously have a vested interest in that from a business perspective. But obviously, being artists, we're also cognizant of the need for the work to be appreciated out there. And I think it is, but I think sometimes people have this sense that everything should just be free. I think part of that has happened with the internet, and a lot of, now you see it with magazines, for example. The magazine industry is changing, and you don't see as many people advertising anymore, and that's hurting the magazines. So there's a transition period that we're undergoing. I think there's new models that need to be considered for monetizing what we do. There's some neat technology like the iPad coming out, and in the same way that Apple, to some extent, has helped artists recoup their currency through iTunes, we may see that develop, obviously, in the publishing market for magazines that are currently in trouble. So, all in all, I think I'm typically an optimist about these things, and I think things will get better. We're actually dealing with, a lot of things in the world that have nothing to do with what we're doing in music, but have obviously affected us in terms of the economy and whatnot. But things are moving forward, and I think the future of music is great, and I'm excited about it. It's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be making music. think of what it was like I remember, God, 10 years ago or something, what you had to do this stuff. So there's a real democratization that we've all played a part in, and I think it's an exciting time.
Oh.